Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. Good morning.
Good day. How's
It's
it going?
going quite well. Lots of magical stuff happening right now.
I like it.
I tell you that uh, I just almost, it's been at least 2 months or more that each time we hop on, I have to mention the numerological number three because it's significant to me in my life path and it is freaking showing up everywhere. It's so fun. I was gonna say wild,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
fun.
that's fun.
So I we had a huge fundraiser for my work and um I ate at one of the food trucks and they gave me my number and it vibrates when your order is ready. 12. So for those that don't know, 1 plus 2 is 3. You reduce in numerology, reduce down to one number. I was packing up some electronics at work, and as serial numbers on stuff, they're long. I look down, 444 in the serial number.
Nice.
I get in my boss and I went to a meeting together and I rode with her. I get in her vehicle. There's a dime sitting in the seat. Like it's just constant. And yesterday I had my head down. Saturday I had my head down because I was going through paperwork and cleaning up some piles and stuff. And my stomach, I had breakfast, but I was like, man, I'm kind of feeling hungry. I look up, it's 3:33. Just like it's just been a lot of fun doing that.
Nice. And I've been seeing a lot of similar numbers and just constantly writing the message, reminding myself of the messages, what the message is for me. This is just for me, just following the trail of the messages all the time because it seems like they're pretty frequent and it's
Yeah,
fun. It is fun. It makes it
it's a lot
exciting.
of fun. And I was contemplating this too. It's like I've talked about this before. Deja vu moments to me are those moments. So we have this life path that our spirit intends to be on, but our human side, right, kind of redirects us and takes the scenic route. And then a deja vu moment is like a moment of you crossed your path or you're on your path, or it's just like a signpost. Okay, I'm doing good. Um, and the more I get into the uh, higher vibrational frequency, the joy of the things that I'm creating, the excitement and the joys of life. The more I'm in that, it seems like the more these numbers are showing up and the dimes are showing up, and it just seems more consistent. So I'm kind of equating that as I'm talking about it, kind of equating that similar to a deja vu moment. Like they're just like, yes, 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 yes. So
Nice.
just I don't know. To me, that sounds fun, and I'm just gonna roll with it for now.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. We all have to recognize that we're on our own journeys and everything doesn't mean the same thing as somebody else. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And I could bring that into a space of it was probably about a week ago that I was thinking, I sure love you, Freeman. And then I felt within inside myself, I hope he loves me like I love him. And then I said that out loud, and he says, you said something along the lines, well, he would love me differently because we have different experiences. We've had different programming. So his love would be maybe, undiluted, unconditional. And mine would have been conditional at that time. And I was very affected by that conversation because it was such a realization. It was a realization when I found out that we all don't see the same color exactly the same way. Because I never processed it. I never thought about it. But then it's like you think about it, no one can ever love the same way as the other person. Not here from this frequency, not here from the earth frequency. We're going to love differently. We're all going to love differently from our own programming and experiences. And so that looks differently. And then that was for me, that kind of set me on. I've been on a lot of emotional stuff, but I feel like I've come into a space of peace now. As we were talking about this morning too. I just feel like I've come into a space of I'm just peaceful. Everything just feels fine on the inside. it's kind of crazy. It doesn't feel chaotic. It doesn't feel like there's no storyline going like there used to be. And it's like I found this book. It's called Who's Talking, and it's by Chris Hinton. The guy came across my feeds on TikTok, and I started listening to the messages that he had, and it's something that I had to really listen to. I couldn't multitask and listen to. I had to sit and listen to what he was saying, and it impacted me in such a way that I really looked at a lot of the ways that I feel things and the way that I've thought about things, and all. It's like he even talks about trying to control water is like trying to put a staple into water, or trying to control. It's like trying to put a staple into water. It's not possible, and it was just another way of looking at it. But it's just awesome. And he talks about us having the narcissistic qualities, but these are all our villagers within inside of us. And each villager, you might have anger, you might have fear, you might have not good enough, all these things that we've told ourselves, and even the ego, like all these different words to identify, but these are all just the villagers. And we're like the person to be on the outside witnessing it, watching all this stuff. We don't observing. We don't have to be those persons, but we can recognize that we might respond in those ways. But that's because we've gained that programming at some point in our lives. And so it's really presented a lot of ways that I can look at stuff. I saw a lot of narcissistic qualities that when he's talking about it, how I've had those qualities as well. I call them qualities, but there have been experiences from this experience. And if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have the understanding about it when it comes into my experience now. So it's just processing so much information that I just feel, man, every time I turn around and I talk to you, I feel like I'm just a different person than I was the last time. So it's like, there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening, and sometimes it's super heavy. But on the other side of that, I'm in a state of peace now. And I kind of know what I'm doing with my office now. I kind of know, I have my plans. I'm doing steps of processing things and going a different direction. So it's just recognizing a lot of that stuff, and it's not being in fear of it. And it's also, I've been doing a lot of releasing, a lot of writing and releasing. If yesterday was one of my things was to release inhibitions. I have inhibitions that are from programming from a child, from being molested and stuff like that, and feeling like I was naughty or dirty or like all these things. Like all this, there's such a full spectrum of things that are processing all at one time. And so it's taking the time to just rest. And it's, even this past week, I've been exhausted this past week, like just tired. And then recognizing when I'm around certain people and how draining their energy could be. Yes, I go in and protect myself, but also recognizing, because I ask to feel whatever is necessary for the greatest good of all. And then it's helping me identify what direction in my life I want to go. So like so much stuff happening. Yours is all exciting and joy and all that stuff. It sounds like a lot of that, but mine has those moments, but it's just been nice to release these ways that I've trapped myself for so long, from the programming, from the thoughts, from the beliefs, from our parents' energies and what their thoughts and beliefs were, what they thought was right and wrong, all those things. And it's processing all that just to uncover who we are, uncover who I am.
Yep. And this is one of those things where, because I know past couple months you've been kind of going through some stuff and processing, and it's been some heavy stuff for you, and I totally understand that because I've been there too, and I still go through it periodically. But it's those. See, we go through some crap, and we move through it, and using whatever tools we have, and then you reach this plateau where you're like, okay, I'm good, life is great, everything's cool, we're flowing, and then something happens, or a belief system creeps in, or an emotion shows itself, or something happens to get your attention, and then it's like, what is this? And you sit in it. And you let it come up, and you question it. You ask your team, your spirit team, for guidance and help and support as you move through it. And it's not an easy thing to do for the most part. because you're just caught off guard. Like, man, life was good and I was feeling some peace in my body and things were, I thought I was doing really well. And now I feel like this. Now I feel like shit. Now I feel like crap. Now I feel like I don't want to people. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to, not even the people you live with. You're just not sure what is coming up until you sit with it and allow it to just come and flow. And we've talked about a lot. Grab a pen and paper and just start writing and see what comes up, right? And it sounds like that's kind of what you did, is did some journaling and processing through pen and paper. And now you're at that stage where I'm feeling peace in me, because I will say that that stuff, something got stirred in you, and your spirit, your body, something is saying, okay, it's time to do some more layers. They're going to come up, and we don't always know what that looks like. However, each time we do that, we're in a space of difference, meaning whatever you process this time, you're in a different space with yourself than you were 6 months ago, 2 years ago, 20 years ago. And each time we heal some layers, heal some stuff that comes up, we're different. We just are. The way we process things, the way we think about things, the way we perceive things. Now, if this stuff would have come up for you, and I'm just using you as an example because it's happened for me as well, that if this same stuff would have come up 10 years ago, you would have sat in it way longer, like months probably. I know I probably would have, and not known what is happening. What am I supposed to do with this? And to just stay in the funk and just let it consume me. And then the more I focus on it, the more I get of it. And the more down or heavy in the emotions I focus on, the more I get of it. And so it would have just lingered and lingered and lingered from probably months. Whereas I would equate this to just weeks that you sat in this, which is huge because that's amazing. Next time it might be days, right? So, but every single time we move through something like that, that feels really heavy in our body and on our heart, on our mind, it's I know when I move through this, I'm going to feel better. I'm going to feel lighter. I'm going to have more clarity, right? It's just the cloudiness of the emotions and the mindset and the physical sensations that we sift through and move through and release and all the things. And then when we get on the other side, because we moved through all that and we took a look at it, like you and I were in that space where we take a look at what's happening within ourselves. Like we want to not necessarily understand it, but we want to process it. We want to really look at it, because I know for me, if I could look at something I'm moving through that feels very heavy, I can generally attach it to so many other things. And it's like shaking the etch a sketch on that topic. Like, oh, I got it, right? And I can release all of that stuff for that particular topic, physical sensation. And it's like I can relate it to several different events in my life, different experiences. And I say, oh, I see how that's a pattern and it keeps showing up. And like recently when I had that, I recognized just a month ago, 2 months ago, that when I get overwhelmed, I get angry because I'm feeling out of control. And then when I look back, I'm like, oh, yep, I did it then. I did it then. Yep, I can see that pattern. Now I know it. I can acknowledge it. And if I start to feel that in my body coming up, I'll be like, no, I'm safe. We're okay. We can handle this. We've moved through things way worse than this. It's okay. The more I stay calm, the better I'm going to be at making decisions, right? And now I can talk myself through it as if I am talking to a little person to calm them down, to help them feel safe. And that's what I have to do for myself, help me feel safe, because that's my job. It's nobody else can do that for me. I have to feel safe in my own body. And each time we have these experiences like that, it just helps us be better and better and better. And the better you get, the better you get.
100%. And I would say, yeah, I used to go through things a lot longer, and now it's like I've had an ask. I wanted all this. You know, when from a spiritual level, I wanted all this. I
Yeah.
wanted all this to purge all this, and it's like it seems like I've gone through. Well, first of all, a friend walking out, and then letting go of that friend, and now being in a space of I don't want the friend back. I'm not in that. I'm not in that energetic space anymore. We're on two different frequencies, and that's really what it boils down to. It's not being in that frequency anymore. We're not the same. We've just gone different directions, and when that always opens up the door for other things to come in. So I've been going through like that. That was a process, and then abandonment. I've been going through a lot of stuff, even in my relationship at home and with the family and the kids and the dynamic, everything. So it's like I've been looking at so much stuff now, and it's like you're right. It is so heavy when you're going through it, especially when because I have called you and I was pretty upset about some things. And then it's like I've gone through that process and worked through that part. And for me, because I think I didn't feel my emotions most of my life, this has been the opportunity to feel those emotions. It wasn't for me to look at any person, place, experience, or situation as anything. It was just for me to feel those emotions because I never allowed myself to feel those emotions when I was a kid, ever. So now I've had a lot of emotional feeling, the crying, all that stuff, and of course we've moved into the what cancer right now, and so that shifts things too, which is also still emotions. But it feels good. It was almost an immediate feel good, and even to the point where I sat outside for over an hour yesterday meditating with the wind being blown around, but it was so perfect. It was so dynamic and it was cool. Like I'd feel the cool air hit against me, and then I would feel warmth, and it was just an amazing day to release so much stuff. And then it's like I came in even being more open, just more. It's just taking me on this journey. It's like that one thing created the whole domino effect. And then I was able to look at so many things where before, if that one thing, the very first thing that started the domino effect would have been the thing that did me in for forever, for a very long time. Like, what was my village person that would have came up? Anger, because that anger was supporting the fear, trying to protect the fear from being there. And it's like, we've got to grow through these things. Otherwise you don't have growth. And it's like, I couldn't keep pushing it away, and there's only so many boxes. It's going to hold so much shit. Like you run out of space. There's no more room in the attic, right? There's no more room in the basement. You don't have any room. And so it's like, it was just recognizing that it's really processed. I feel like I've processed lifetimes of stuff in the last few months, and it's been phenomenal. Will I experience more of it in the future? Probably. I probably will, but it'll be less and less. Like you said, it doesn't feel as heavy. If I would have felt this 10 years ago, I don't know. Life kind of seems like it's not worth living sometimes. And in that moment, even if I didn't remove myself from the planet, I would have focused on so much traumas and everything else, and the why me and the victim and all that stuff, that I would have missed the mark. I wouldn't have gotten that. I wouldn't have understood 10 years ago half the stuff that I'm experiencing right now, or even how to get through it, because it felt so bad. Or at that time, my way of dealing with it would have been go smoke some pot, because it would have slowed my mind down. It would have gave me that time to take a breath of you. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It gave me the opportunity to go through that process. But now it's like I don't need that. And so occasionally I'll feel like, oh God, I feel like I need to go. There was a day last week that I felt like drinking. And I haven't drank for a few years. Like I don't drink at all. It doesn't do anything for me. But I was feeling that feeling like I wanted to run from these. It was the old feelings. I wanted to run from these emotions. And it's like I really had to stop, sit, and feel it. Which makes me even now on the other side of that. Now I'm saying this. If I tune into someone, if I say their name or anything, I'm picking up stuff so fast. Like it's so fast. I could look over at one of my dogs and like, oh, realize it. I start itching on my body and they're having an allergy reaction. It's like so quick. It's faster than it's ever been, but it's only because stuff is cleared out. It's only allowed me to be able to be this vessel now. It's been fun, but there's been a lot of shit in that fun. And there was days of it that I might have maybe only a couple of minutes of where I could breathe and it felt light and I felt good for a minute. Next thing you know, I'd be right back in it again. It's like, oh no, no, you're not getting away from us that easily. We're going to release this stuff because this has been my desire. It's been my desire to evolve. And I don't feel like I could evolve with all that stuff on me still.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. Now, from this point where I'm at right this moment, it's been awesome for me to even stop and feel those emotions, to just feel that stuff and see whatever comes up. And I have been doing a lot of writing and I've been burning a lot because it needs to be even good stuff, even like writing a letter to my higher self, like all these things. It's just all part of the process and it's all right for me. It's all right because it's like we second guess ourselves and everything that comes into us is information for us that's going to benefit us. We might try to run it by somebody else. And as soon as we do that, you've now taken it from inside of you to outside of you, and you're looking at for information or somebody's response outside of you to give you information to soothe you. And I can't do that anymore. I have to be within in order for me to process this stuff. And so even recognizing when I get excited about stuff and I'm like, oh, I want to share this real quick. No, I've got to sit in with that energy and just feel that excitement of it instead of just sharing it. Because what happens a lot of times when you share your information with someone else, they don't have the same enthusiasm, the same excitement, and then you're like feeling like, oh, I guess it really wasn't a big deal. And it's like you almost negate a positive experience. And so I'm learning to just be within myself and to process that stuff and be excited about that stuff.
Yep. And it's all worth it. In the moments, it sucks bad.
Yeah.
It sucks. However, when you get on the other side of it, I've been watching Bev move through this, and in some of the videos, she's you tell the energy is not heavy, but just not where she is today. So if you went back and watched a couple of videos prior to this, you may notice that. And she knew it. So it's like I can bring
Yeah.
that up. She knew
Yeah.
it. And she was doing the best that she could in those moments to show up, to have these conversations, to do these recordings. And also knowing the reason why we have these conversations is helpful for us. So
Yeah.
this is our own therapy session. And so we just share it with everybody else. And so, you get to notice, like now she's like, oh my gosh, I feel so much peace and calmness. Well, it's because she's released some of that heaviness out of her body, the heaviness of the experiences, the emotions, the words, the thoughts that were stored in her body because of the past experiences that she's had. And I say I've done it too. I still do it every once in a while. And it's an ongoing thing because you have to think about all the information that we've taken in over all these years that you've been alive from conception, that all that energy of everything that's ever been that we have stored within our body. And every time we clear some of that out, we feel lighter and lighter and lighter. But it's the clearing process that feels very heavy and very daunting and just absolutely sucks. Um, and there's beauty in it. There's beauty in sitting in it. There's beauty in sitting with yourself. There's beauty in the process. And when you get on the other side, it's like this big, huge weight's been lifted off and you can breathe. And you're just like, wow, that feels amazing. It's just no different than shedding the pounds physically. You notice that when you reduce your weight, that it's easier to get up and down. It's you just feel lighter. You feel different. Maybe your clothes don't fit as tight. Like it's just a lightness, and that's where the goal would be, is to be able to feel that within yourself on a regular basis, and knowing that when you are faced with another obstacle, then you're going to get through it. It's just a matter of going through the process. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go again. It's okay.
And it was so nice that I got to talk to you about when I was going through a moment that you were saying, yeah, you went through the same thing too. And it's like, it does make it, and you expressed a lot of stuff that made a difference. And that's why we're having this conversation. It's because the listener needs to know that you're okay. And
Yeah.
sometimes it feels like you're totally not okay, but this is something that you need to hear because you're probably going through the same stuff and not having understanding about why you're going through these things and feeling all these things. And being able to talk to someone else about this stuff makes a big difference. It actually, it really comforted me. It really felt good. Not because you went through it, but because you definitely had an understanding about what I was experiencing. And you had gone through it already. And it's like the heaviness of it when you're going through that heavy part, it does feel like it'd be easy to not be here anymore. And I'm so thankful that I decided to stay anyways, keep going through it because when you said taking a breath, I feel like I can take a breath deeper than I've ever been able to take a breath. It's all right for me to get emotional. It's all right for my eyes to water. It's all right. It's okay for us to feel these emotions and stuff. And so it's like, it actually facilitated me in my growth. So thank you. But so that's why I feel like it's such a benefit for others to hear the processes that we're going through and how we are managing things and pick up whatever resonates with each person that's out there, whatever you feel good, whatever we're saying. And maybe it's not something that we're saying, but maybe Spirit's guiding you to something else. And it's just being open to listen to it and know that when you have a reaction that's a knee-jerk reaction, like I'm not listening to this shit, you probably need to listen to it.
Yep. Especially when them numbers and dimes start showing.
That's right. Oh yeah, and I would say the same, but they have been it's most of my journaling lately is writing down the numbers, and I might write down the numbers over and over and over and over again and write down whatever I feel was the message during that message, and then I'll go back and read it. For the stuff that I'm keeping, the other stuff I'm just burning it.
Yeah.
I'm just releasing it.
Nice. All right, friends. Bottom line, you're not alone. We all go through it. I can tell you I probably guarantee every spiritual teacher or influencer has gone through the same thing. They go through a spurt of heaviness, move through it. Things are good, things are lighter, things are more peaceful, and then something else comes. So you're not alone in this. You keep going and keep showing up. And to me, it's a clearing and cleansing of not only the stored experience in this lifetime, but also history, ancestral stuff. It's a process of all of it because we are clearing energy collectively, and we are all connected in this this conscious awareness of the universe. And so the more work we do on ourselves, that affects everybody on a way different level than we could probably even imagine or fathom or even process. So just keep moving forward, and you're doing great no matter where you're at. And again, this is why Bev and I come here. We do these conversations because it's helpful for the two of us. We hardly ever talk in between these sessions, and so when we come together, we get to share what we've been going through and provide that for you as the listener. So you do the same when you're going through something and you find something that works, then share it with whoever is seeking the information. It could be a coworker, somebody in the grocery line. I always use a grocery store for a reason, or for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm always like in the grocery store line. And so anyway, it could be anybody at any time that is seeking information like this. So whether you share our content or somebody else's, be a resource for the information. Doesn't mean you have to teach it. And we're found on many platforms. We're on YouTube, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Podcast Addict. So share the information. Got any final words on this topic?
You got this.
Thank you.
It's that simple. Yeah, you got this.
All right, friends. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev, and we'll see you on the next recording.